Hi, I'm Jason Sterling, and this is an RM Cascadian travel vlog. And today we're talking about Carnival Vista New Year's Eve 2021 into 2022 8-day cruise. 4 ports of call to talk about today, coming up next. Don't break, son! Okay, so we had 4 ports of call on this particular cruise, this 8-day cruise on the Carnival Vista. And despite media reports at the time, we actually made all 4 of our ports of call. A lot of cruise ships were having trouble with Eastern Caribbean ports of call, kind of canceling on them, not letting ships dock. Not in the West, not in Mexico, not in Belize, not in Honduras. That's where we were going. Cozumel, Costa Maya, Mexico. Belize City, Belize, and Roatan Island in Honduras, which is my favorite port of call. We'll get to why coming up here in a little bit. The first port of call was Cozumel. Now, we didn't do a lot in Cozumel, and I often don't do a lot in Cozumel simply because I've been there a lot, and I felt like I've kind of done everything. Now, I will say real quick, this is a little bit of a spoiler for coming up. I'm going on a cruise March the 5th. It's a couple of weeks from now. So I'm going on a cruise on March the 5th for the Carnival celebration for their 50th anniversary. And I am going to try something different in Cozumel that time. I'm going to go to Mr. Sancho's. Everybody loves it. Everybody raves about it. Everybody loves it. So I'm going to try them out. But this time, my son and I just got off, and we were going to kind of play Pokemon Go, which we've done before in Cozumel. We had like some trouble getting logged on. And then we were running out of battery power. We didn't get a whole lot done. And we couldn't go very far. Here's what happened. We started late in Cozumel because we had very bad weather in Galveston. I mean, not bad weather. We had heavy fog, really heavy fog in Galveston. So the ship, instead of leaving like at 3:30 in the afternoon, left at, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something. So when I think we left Galveston, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But we left really late. So as a consequence, we got into Cozumel really late. Instead of getting to Cozumel about 8 o'clock in the morning, I think we were able to get off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, they stayed late into the evening, and I actually was kind of happy about that at first because I thought, hey, this is my chance to see Cozumel at night. I've never even seen it at night. Well, I had the chef's table booked already for that night, and by the time I found out about the schedule change, I mean, I couldn't technically cancel the chef's table without just losing the money on it. So I decided to still go. Plus, I didn't really want to cancel. I mean, that is the night I wanted to do it on. So we skipped seeing Cozumel at night. Probably not much to see anyway. There's a couple of cool pictures here, though. Now, I took a couple of these from the ship. And then there's a picture of a sunset and a picture of the ship all lit up. I don't know who took those. Those were on the Facebook page for the group for this cruise, right? And the person who posted them also didn't know where he got them. So they didn't belong to him either. So anyway, I don't know if these are your pictures. Great work. They look beautiful. But these are some pictures of Cozumel at night. And that's all we really did there. Now, Costa Maya, though, we did have plans, and it was exciting. Okay, so beautiful Costa Maya. It was pretty beautiful. I've never been there before. Very first time I've been to Costa Maya. The port area is nice. It looks like a lot of the new modern port areas, very sort of what I consider California shopping center, you know, an open-air shopping center. This had some interesting things, though. Like there was a dolphin swim there. Yeah, you could swim with the dolphins, like right there at the port. So we saw that, some stuff like that. And it was nice, definitely was nice. The town itself is a little bit off of the port. The town totally, now here's the deal. We're going to come to this. I didn't get any pictures of the town. Didn't get a lot of pictures of the main event, which was a Segway tour of the town. Okay. There's no pictures, I think, of myself on the Segway, for instance. Okay. So we're coming to that. So, the town itself, though, is very, I mean, it kind of makes me think of Mexico in the 1970s. I mean, I wasn't in Mexico in the 1970s, but when I looked at it, that's what I thought. I bet this is how Mexico looked in the 1970s, which is not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. The town was very unspoiled. It had a lot of authenticity to it. I mean, it looked authentically Mexican instead of like an American shopping center. And there were like no Starbucks. It was all local stores, local restaurants. It was really cool. And the Segway tour was cool. I took my son. He's never been on a Segway. I thought it'd be really fun for him to learn how to ride one. And we're going to do this ride through the town. We're going to line up for pictures. We're going to do all this stuff. Well, some bad weather that day, really bad weather. We did learn how to ride a Segway. I think we kind of rode it to like the far point of the tour, although I think we were supposed to do some touring around that area, which did not happen because we turned around and rode it back to a restaurant on a beach because it was supposed to be paired up with a beach kind of excursion. So after the tour, you could hang out at a beach. Well, we went to this restaurant because all of a sudden a downpour came out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere. No. Bad weather was predicted for Costa Maya. It was supposed to rain, like about an 80 or 90% chance of rain. And I really expected them to cancel the tour because it was all outside. They didn't, and I'm a little torn on that. Now, it was great. My son had great fun learning how to ride a Segway, and we had a great fun riding it while we did ride it, right? I mean, that was a lot of fun. But a large portion of that excursion really was lost due to the rain. You can't help the rain and you can't help weather, but I'm kind of torn about whether or not they should have went ahead and canceled given the forecast. Now, as it was, we went back to this restaurant. The restaurant was kind of cool. Very small, very local place. They charge different prices to the tourists and have a different menu for the tourists. How do you know that, Jason? Well, because some locals were there. They left the menu on their table, right? So we're sitting there. We're all kind of in a group. I'm like, oh, I'm going to grab this menu. Maybe we can order something to eat while we're here, right? That's kind of why we're here. So I'm looking at the menu. Got all this stuff on it. It's this huge menu. It's really extensive. I'm like, hey, son, they've even got pizza here. Da, 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 da. And I'm looking at the prices, and the prices are all like really good. And this waiter comes running over. He's like, here's the menu. And he gives me like this laminated piece of paper, which has a bunch of the standard Tex-Mex quesadilla, some chips and salsa, stuff like that, right? Standard Tex-Mex menu, couple of drinks, couple of beers, like 4 times the price of the menu I was looking at. And he wants that menu back immediately. Okay, well, I'm not a fool, and I have friends that live in tourist areas, and I know that sometimes there's a tourist menu or tourist pricing. Okay, well, that's why this place was. The chips and salsa was good, and the quesadilla was good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the food per se. My son had like a little tiny bottle of Sprite, maybe 10 ounces, and I had a beer. And the total for that bounty, it's almost $30. So keep that in mind. Would I go back? Maybe, but I'd probably try to pretend to be a local. Don't go with the tour group. Go back like you're a local. The beach was cute there. We got a few pictures of the beach, and it was a fun excursion. I like Costa Maya. Costa Maya was a good port. I would go back to Costa Maya. I would. And I would do that excursion again. Don't get me wrong. Even though they probably should have canceled, we did have fun. So I'm really torn on that point of view because we did have fun. I didn't go back to the ship and think, oh, I should get my money back or I should get part of my money back. I really didn't feel that way because I did enjoy it. I enjoyed what we did. So yeah, I would do the excursion again. My son has so much fun riding the Segway, so I definitely would do that excursion again. Now, in Belize is another port of call that I've been to several times. It feels like there's not a lot of excursions even happening there right now. And again, I've done everything I kind of cared to do in Belize. For a while, they had like a foodie tour of Belize. I actually would do that again. I had a lot of fun on that. I haven't seen it offered since COVID reopened, since things reopened. Maybe because of COVID, it's not offered. There's a lot of eating and stuff going on. I wish they would do something like that. And I wish they would start developing a few more excursions for like I'm not even a super long-term passenger, but a long-term passenger where we've gone to these same ports a lot. And I would love to do cooking classes and stuff like that. Okay. So Belize, we did get off though. We did tender over and we did a little shopping. A friend of mine back here in the States wanted us to pick up some hot sauce for him. Yeah. And it was fun. We did a little shopping, kind of puttered around the port. And, some people don't like riding the tender. It doesn't bother me. It's kind of a fun little trip over and a fun trip back. We saw where they're building, though, the new port. The new, I'm sure, California-inspired shopping plaza port. You can see they're building an island for it, you guys. I mean, they're building an island from scratch, building it out there. A couple of years ago, the last time I was there, well, no, it would have been either 2020, I guess, 2 years ago. They were talking about it then, and I was like, yeah, sure, it's going to get done. It looks like it's getting done. And this time, the guys doing the tender were saying they're going to build a bridge from that thing to the mainland. So no more tendering. You'll take buses kind of like at Progresso, I guess. Progresso has a really long dock like that. So my guess is they're going to do the same thing here in Belize. And so when you get off the ship, you'll be in the sort of cruise ship sponsored shopping plaza. And if that's as far as you want to go, I guess it's as far as you can go. Buy a shirt with Belize on it, buy some hot sauce, buy some liquor, and you're good to go. Or you can take a bus on into town. Now, I would always take a bus into town, and especially to Belize. I do like Belize City. Lots of friendly people, some great places, some great restaurants there and stuff like that. So I would always still go into town. But that was us in Belize. Not as much did we do in Belize. Now, Honduras is a different story. Honduras is my favorite port of call in the Western Caribbean. Honduras is, let's own up here. Part of that is because it's very unspoiled. There's not a lot of commercialism there outside of the cruise ship port. So it looks beautiful still. And the cruise ship port is very convenient. They have a great private beach there. With a restaurant and a couple of bars and some water equipment and palm trees and lounge chairs. You can walk there from the ship, or you can take like a sky lift across, which is a great novelty. I love taking the sky lift. My son and I both do. It's great for the view. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I love Honduras for that reason, because it's just a great, comfortable port to go to the beach. And since the beach is private, there's no salesmen approaching you or trying to sell you beads or hair or any of that stuff. Now, you can get that stuff. There's shopping there at the beach, but it's in the back, out of the way, and unobtrusive. And so if you want to sit and just watch the water and watch the beach, it's so great. So I love it there. I do. Now, whenever we go nowadays, this is my son and I, this is how we do it. This is our MO. We take a tour. And the tour is a local tour company. I always buy it off the ship, and it's zip lining. It's like zip line and beach adventure or something like that. Maybe I can post. I'll see if I can post it, cut it out online and post it here. And you go up in the hills, right? You meet there at the dock area, at the shopping plaza. You go up in the hills, way up in the hills. And there's about 6, let's say 6. There might be 7. I know but let's say 6 zip lines, right? And you zip line all the way down the hills, and your last zip line brings you to like a tower. I always say it brings you to the beach. It does technically. It brings you to a tower on the beach. You actually land on a tower, come down the tower, into the restaurant, out of the restaurant onto the beach. So it's great because we get on the excursion, and the excursion just drops us right where we want to be at the end. Drops us right there on the beach. We hang out all day. My son and I had the best time this time. We really enjoyed it. Just hanging out on the beach. We got some food. There's some circulating waiters, going around. So we got some food. We got some drinks. And we really spent, all day doing that. First, we did the zip line, and we spent the rest of the day at the beach. When we were done, we did take the sky lift back over to the shopping plaza. But when we were getting ready to go through the duty-free shop, out to the main dock to get on the ship, I noticed this little sign. It says something like, nature walk or nature preserve or something. And I've never seen it before. I've never noticed it. So either it's new, and I don't think it's new. I think I just have never noticed it. It was the best little walk. I'm like, hey, we've got time. Let's cut through here and see where this goes. Let's see what this is, see where it goes. It's like a nature trail. I got some of the best shots of the ship off this, trail. There's places where you can kind of sit, like some sort of like swing type places, some benches. And it basically is an alternative path, like through the trees over to the beach area, right? Over to the bridge that leads to the beach. So instead of taking the main kind of paved route, the garden, the landscaped route, this is a natural trail. So I can't recommend it enough. It was so cool. We had the best time walking through there. It was shaded. It was cool in reality too. The temperature was much cooler. And we had the best time walking through that path. And like I say, some really great pictures too. So Honduras, my favorite port of call for all those reasons. And if there's a cruise and I'm looking, that's what I'll look. Is it going to Jamaica and Grand Cayman, or is it going to Belize and Honduras? I will choose Belize and Honduras every time if I can do it. That's how much I really like the Honduras, especially port of call. The beach is beautiful, perfect sand, perfect water. It's clean. Oh my gosh, it's just clean and it's beautiful. Can't recommend it enough. So those were our ports of call off this particular voyage. We had a fantastic time. If you're going to Cozumel for the first time, I recommend the Coba Pyramid on the mainland. It's the last pyramid, I think, that you can actually climb on the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's the highest pyramid on the Yucatan Peninsula. A fantastic view, and it's a great Mayan ruin site. Tulum is also a great site. There's a beach at Tulum. Take your swim trunks if you do Tulum. You can't climb the pyramid at Tulum, but you can go down the beach at Tulum, hang out at the beach. Also, maybe on my next upcoming trip, maybe Mr. Sancho's. We'll see how much I like it. And there's a great restaurant in Cozumel too called Chicken and Waffles, what it used to be called. I can't remember what it's called now. We'll see if I can look it up, and I'll put the name here if I can find it. It used to be called Chicken and Waffles. I just know how to get there. It's just a little bit off of old, like downtown Cozumel, away from the ports. In Belize, definitely do the foodie tour if you have a chance. Altun Ha is a great Mayan ruin site. If it comes with the river cruise, like where they cruise back on the river to get you back to Belize City, oh, it's excellent. It's a great cruise down the river. So scenic. And then Honduras, you know what I would do. Costa Maya, try to do something where you go to the little town. Get away from that port. Get to the main. Costa Maya is actually what the port is called. Again, I'll look up the name of the town. I'll put it here on the screen because I can't pronounce it. I'll mangle it. But get to that town. The town has a lot of character still. While it still does, get there and see it while it still has some character and hasn't been Americanized, because it really makes you feel like, wow, I think I'm in Mexico. This looks like Mexico, but it was perfectly safe and great people there. Very friendly, very nice. And that's it for now. Please hit subscribe, like, and notify. And thank you for watching.